JJ. Hit it. It's time for the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. Frangie, Carline, and LaSelva. The new drug today is let me thank our friend Max for spending 97% of his update talking about the home run hit against the Pirates last night. That was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Jack Caglione left the yard. So thank you for that. I happened to be watching. Go figure.
Yeah. So what are you in that moment?
You know
Upset
what?
or happy for Cags?
Yeah, I mean, listen. News bulletin, we suck.
Yeah.
My team sucks. So why not have somebody hit if Cags is going to hit a bomb, go ahead. Yeah, he's hit. Cags only hit 2 home runs. He's hit 2 the last 2 nights against my team. You know, you get just 3 runs against my team, you have a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
You have a pretty good chance. So, Cags, by the way, I will say this. He's only hitting like 140 or so. That'll come. But boy, oh boy, he hit some tape. That was a tape measure shot last night now. I mean, that was.
What did they say how far it went?
Yeah,
because it was almost dead center.
456, wasn't it?
Was it 456?
Yeah, which is a bomb.
And the one the other night was a laser.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he really
like 115 off the bat.
Right. So
he's what, like 6'4", 245?
That's about 6'5", maybe about 245. That's
Wow.
about right. He's a big old cat, no question about it. So, all right, a lot of things to talk about today on the program. Lee Smith stops by to talk golf in just a little bit. I'm looking forward to that. We got the Scottish Open now. The British around the corner. Is the British? By the way, is the British next week?
Great 2 weeks for golf.
Okay, so you know what we're going to do on Friday.
Yeah.
On Friday, we're going to do our loser money
We're going to have
picks.
to make our picks.
So even though the Scottish won't be completed, we're going to make our British Open picks on Friday. You like it?
I do like it. And we can just say that, like, for whatever reason, if your guy withdraws between Friday and Wednesday, you can just text us fill-in guy, since we're picking a little further out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, it's very unlikely that would happen. But in case it does, you don't want somebody to lose a bet on Saturday, 5 days before a tournament starts.
Unless it's one of you guys, then I'll pick for you.
You're fine.
I'm happy to pick for you.
Yeah. But yeah, so Friday, that sounds good.
So I can't believe Frank picked Tom Kite for Hayes. I wouldn't have thought Kite would be a factor here. So there's that. A lot of things to talk about. Lee will be here at 4:20. Got a lot. I also want to ask Lee about, for the everyday golfer, because we have so many everyday golfers. If you're a golf pro and you run one of these clubs, is summer busier, less busy because it's so hot? Or the club? I'm blessed because where I live, it's always in good shape. But I wonder, the courses are in better shape, not as good a shape.
That would be interesting because the heat is so extreme.
Yeah. So is it harder to keep
it lush?
You put more water on it,
right?
I mean,
which obviously, you do. So then I guess it just comes down to: do you have the budget to overwater it to keep up, or do you not?
And a muni versus a course with a lot of money, it's a difference. So I think it's a fun topic. We'll get to that. Later on in the program, I want to talk about Carson Beck. Carson Beck has had a very interesting career. What to expect from Carson Beck, not just this year for Miami, but will he be a 10-year pro? Will he be, about this time last year, we thought he might be the first pick in the draft.
I picked him to win the Heisman last year.
We all thought he would be really good. You weren't alone. I thought there was expectations. So I want to, and that'll get us to, and we won't talk about it now. I won't pick a guy now, but who's the best quarterback to move on, whether it's to move on to college, pros? Who's the best quarterback that played high school football in our area? Who's a high play? Tebow would be the best college guy, obviously. He went on to win the Heisman, win national titles.
That's a high bar. That's going to be a high bar for any Jacksonville area kid.
But NFL guys, have we had any NFL? And we'll go through the list later. I'm going to go through a list of players that maybe weren't Tebow, but were good college players. But as far as NFL, have we ever had one? And so, of significance?
I want to say, I don't think we've ever had a Jacksonville area kid be a team's week 1 through week 16 or 17.
Like now, never.
Starter.
Not even 60s, 70s before.
Yeah, I think we've had guys that have gotten a chance here and there.
Yeah, we've had Johnny Wolford.
Right.
But so we'll talk about that.
And was it Rusty Smith?
Rusty Smith from Sandalwood,
got drafted,
played for the Titans for a while.
Yeah, he was drafted.
Yeah, from FAU.
It maybe got a spot start or two. I can't remember, but it doesn't feel like anybody from our area at the quarterback position has ever had
even back in
someone
the day,
hand them the keys and say, "You're the guy."
Yeah, even back in the day. So we'll talk about that a little. It'll be a fun topic. Quarterback and who did well. Obviously Tebow, but who else came out of here and was a very good college quarterback and where they wound up. So that'll be kind of fun. So we'll kind of go back on that a little bit. So we'll talk some quarterback play. We'll talk golf coming up with Lee Smith a little bit. Jaguars right around the corner. Certainly some Jaguar talk as always. I tell you what, though, the one that I always look at the thing that caught my attention in the news always. And these numbers are out. It's not like it's new because the NBA is re-signing all their guys. All these max extensions are happening every time you turn around now. It's like a daily thing. Devin Booker is getting $72 million a year.
It's wild. It's a record.
Barely ahead of SGA. $72.5 million a year. 72. I can remember the first $1 million athletes. I mean, that's real money. I mean, think
it's
about
incredible.
I mean, think about it.
It's $850,000 a game.
I mean, is that what it is?
Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean, if they play 82.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? It's $72 million per season. And again, Gilgeous-Alexander is just about the same. So it's not like I've been in a cave for 40 years and I just woke up and saw this. I've seen the numbers escalate, but that one just hit me.
It does feel like in the NBA they've really spiked in the last 5 years. You know, the TV deal they signed must have been a bonanza, because you are seeing the star salaries just really. I mean, it almost feels like it's a 200% jump from where, like, what LeBron James would have been making in 2015,
right,
compared to what these guys are earning now. I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the world champs, extended Jalen Williams today, who was like a son to me, and it's 5-year extension worth up to $287 million. So the Thunder have signed SGA, Holmgren, and now Jalen Williams with an investment of $822 million for 3 guys. But, I mean, they're the heart and backbone of a world championship team that could certainly win it again. But $822 million for 3 players.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is.
I mean, again, that is almost $1 billion. So it's not going to be that long. We'll be having this conversation in 5 years, and hopefully it'll be the Magic at that point. Yeah. But some team will have signed 3 up-and-coming players if they're fortunate enough to get the right young pieces in place, and it'll be over $1 billion. Yeah. I guess probably in soccer they have that now internationally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't like the top players in the Premier League, or no? They don't get that?
So it's crazy when you put like Ronaldo and Messi, and they're like in a completely different category than everybody else. But no, like the average Joe in the Premier League makes way less than the average Joe in the NBA.
Okay.
All right, so let me.
But their stars aren't making like $80 million a year, unless the Saudis are paying.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Ronaldo and Messi, yes, but everybody else, not really.
Let me give you dollars. Who do you think is the highest paid athlete in the last year? And that includes endorsements and on-field stuff. It's not just on the field.
Is it like sometimes it can be like a race car driver?
Okay.
Is it a F1 guy?
I will tell you, it's a soccer guy.
I'll say Ronaldo.
It's Ronaldo. Ronaldo total dollars, both all in 225 or 275. But that's to JJ's point.
Saudi.
It's 50s playing and 225. Okay, who do you think is second?
I know for a long time this would always interest me. It was like Shoemaker forever, but that was like F1 racing.
Schumacher.
It's not.
So I don't know if I don't follow that.
It's a name you know. It's a name you would know.
I mean,
this includes endorsements and salary.
Is Tiger still doing that well?
No, Tiger's not on the 15.
Probably Braun.
It's Steph Curry.
Okay.
Curry's second. If I asked you to pick third, I'd give you 100 guesses you wouldn't get it. By the way, fourth, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott.
Wow.
Dak Prescott's fourth. Lionel Messi's fifth. LeBron is sixth. Okay. If I asked you to guess 3, it doesn't matter how long you take. You could take till next week. You're never going to get it.
Dwayne Gratz.
How'd you know? Okay, so any idea? JJ, any idea?
I'm going to say, is it a boxer? Sometimes the boxers are, but I don't know which one to pick.
Canelo.
Tyson Fury.
Okay.
Tyson Fury it's Ronaldo.
I used to love these lists because I remember Floyd Mayweather.
He'd be number 1 every year.
Right.
Yeah, would be really high up the top. It wasn't and like Federer would be high up when he was in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a lot of it was athletes that were international more than NFL, NBA, and so forth.
Ronaldo 1, Steph 2, Tyson Fury 3 with 146 million.
But see, then next year he might totally fall off if he hasn't.
Right.
That's right.
If he didn't fight.
It all depends on when you fight. Exactly.
Correct.
Like Canelo will probably be on there this year. He's got a big fight in September.
Dak Prescott 4?
That is a
If you'd asked me
surprise.
to
I mean,
guess-
I know his contract is obviously among the highest in the NFL, but I'm surprised that
Endorsement dollars.
I guess the chunky soup money must be pretty thick.
Doesn't he do like a mattress commercial or something?
Lionel Messi 5, LeBron 6. Coming in at 7 is the highest baseball guy. JJ, who would it be?
Soto, I guess now.
Juan
Wow,
Soto.
nicely done.
Well done. Juan Soto is the highest paid player.
Just
in the
because he
sport.
just got signed.
So
then
what's
It's probably
where is he at?
Otani with all the deferred money.
Right.
114 million.
114.
All in, and then some guy named I'm showing what a rube I am because I can't pronounce it. Kareem Benzema. Is
Yeah.
that the soccer guy?
Yeah, he also is in Saudi.
Okay. So he's
Kareem's on the list?
Still getting paid.
he is 8th.
And that's exactly how you say his name.
Shohei is 9th.
Okay.
And Kevin Durant is 10th.
Wow, Durant's still up there.
The highest golf guy is John Rahm at 12. Okay, and then Scheffler at 14.
Yeah.
How about that?
Makes sense.
Scheffler didn't even take the live money.
So,
He's
yeah.
still up.
Well, I was going to say, Scheffler, who has the most dynamic year that we've seen, and he still falls behind the Saudi money.
Right. 15 on this list. Giannis, by the way, is 13. Scheffler, 14. 15 on the list. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun
Fully guaranteed
Watson.
contract. I mean, I wouldn't
Deshaun
imagine the
freaking Watson.
endorsement money is all that prevalent for Deshaun Watson anymore, but he does have a fully guaranteed.
That contract
lucrative
was
deal.
so bad that now we're having collusion
Right. To
going
make
on
sure it
with the
never
Players
happens
Association
again.
and the
Right.
owners.
It's just
yeah.
amazing the money. It's just a stat. I mean, Devin Booker is getting $72 million a
Again,
year.
it just
He's a good
speaks-
player, don't get me wrong,
Sure, but yeah, I mean, Devin Booker
Devin
last year,
Booker.
he's
Probably not even top 15.
he averaged 25.6 points a game and 7.1 assists. I mean, really good numbers. But yeah, it's and obviously he'll get surpassed by the next guy and the next guy. But again, it just speaks to, what does this tell us? Well, it tells us the interest in sports on a human condition level has never been higher than what it is in 2025.
That's exactly right.
And there's a multitude of reasons for that. Escapism, I'd say pop culture isn't probably as dominant as it has been in the past. And so people are looking for escapism. I don't like my job. I don't like the way the world is being run. And sports is an outlet from all of that. And I think it's why. I mean, if you're in the sports business, you are doing really well. And that's not going to stop because the interest is only going to get higher and higher and more intense. And fans are only going to get more passionate.
If you'd have told me Ronaldo 1, Steph Curry 2, Lionel Messi 5, I probably wouldn't have been shocked. LeBron 6. That 4, that 6, I would have guessed. If you'd have told me 3 and 4 were Tyson Fury and Dak Prescott, I'd have thought you lost your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I
am surprised Dak is that high.
Fourth.
That he gets that much in endorsement.
It's amazing.
For a guy that's never even breathed a Super Bowl appearance.
Correct.
Let
He's
alone
just a
won
guy.
one.
He's just a good quarterback.
And he's
So
not even
just
that interesting.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's amazing. So, hey, more power to him. So, all right, a lot of things to do today on the program. We'll talk some quarterbacks coming up later on in the program. But after the timeout, let's say hello to our buddy Lee Smith. I want a lot of golf questions as we get a bit of good golf season. To follow. Also, some golf questions about just the guys playing golf. All that coming up. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
There are many ways to experience 1010XL.
The key to this whole thing is their computer.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Get me that computer program.
Yes, sir. At 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here. Summer heat is on the rise, but don't sweat it. Big Chief Tire has your back with $50 off all AC services. Whether your system needs a quick recharge or a full repair, their expert team will keep you cool and road ready all season long. With 5 locations across Jacksonville, trusted service is always nearby. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your AC service. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rollin'.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins. 354-5645.
Coming soon, Pine Royale, a fully illuminated synthetic par 3 course built for day or night play. Plus a driving range with TrackMan Tech for virtual courses and interactive games. Mini golf, restaurant, and bar all in one place. Whether you're a serious golfer or just here for good vibes and great food, Pine Royale brings fun nonstop. Smash a burger, a bucket of balls, and even a night round under the lights. Grab your clubs, your crew, and your short game. Pine Royale is coming soon off I-295. Learn more at pineroyale.cc.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time now for the tour update with Players Championship Executive Director Lee Smith.
Keep an eye on this one.
Presented by Sunshine Turf, the highest quality artificial turf at affordable prices.
All right, we do have to thank our friends from Sunshine Turf. They just put a turf, by the way, in the backyard. I tell you what, I'm like out there so much. You would love it. I want you to call them at 904-383-0243. That's 904-383-0243. You get a putting green in your backyard. It's affordable, which you might not have realized, but it is. You're going to love it. I think it'll help your putting a little bit. Lee, I think it helps a lot. My putting, as bad as I played with you last week, putting wasn't a disaster. It was everything else.
No, I thought putting was good.
I putted it pretty well. Yeah. So get a putting green from Sunshine Turf. You'll be glad you did. 904-383-0243.
What was the scouting report?
Oh, it's played terrible.
He kept saying, I know you hear this from other guys,
right.
but I don't normally play this bad.
You know the guy that always
We've
says
all
that.
been there.
You know the guy that says that. I never. What's Judge Schmel say? I never slice. That was that guy. So I played Thursday after hacking it up with you and shot 83, and it was good for me. 83. I played well, and I shot 84 on Saturday. I said so. I blamed you. Okay. Because I had, let me be honest. Can I be honest? I told Hayes this already.
I've only seen him play once, and I thought I was watching like Corey Pavin because he just was straight everything right down the middle.
I shot 39.
Not a ton of power, but just accurate.
I shot 39 the time Hayes ran around with me for 9 holes, and when I quit keeping score last week, I probably shot 95 with Lee. I will say this. I told you this. I told Hayes this during the week. We played at Pablo. We on a walk-off event, and we were in the same group, and we were kind of half paying attention and nod and having a good time. I didn't remember you being that good. Boy, oh boy, this guy, he made 3 birdies last week,
wow.
Okay? 3 birdies and probably almost made 2 or 3. What do you figure? Would you shoot 69, 70 with me last week?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you did. You did. Don't lie. No. Now you're lying.
He's tie-webbing it.
I think I'm going to say 3 birdies and a bogey.
It went downhill when the beverage cart lady left. She left.
She left early. She bailed, and that was not good. So, but anyway, we had a blast playing. So I appreciate you coming out.
That was fun. Thank you.
And he had not played Jack's golf before. So,
cool.
So it's
great place. Loved it.
We're real proud of our golf course. So we really are. So, I want to get this kind of summer golf for general folks in a minute. But let's start with the Scottish Open. It's a good field. So Scotty's playing, Rory's playing, Xander's playing, JT's playing, Morikawa's playing. Is that always, Lee? Do the good players generally play because it's a week out? Is that the kind of a thing?
Yeah, I think as the tournament and the profile and the purse of the Scottish Open has been elevated over the last 5 to 7 years, and as it's taken its position on the schedule. Genesis, you probably read this week, just re-up their large sponsorship and partnership with the PGA Tour in a lot of different ways, multiple tournaments. I think this has been and become a great way to play your way into the Open Championship. And then there's such a nice co-sanctioned, field strength partnership between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour. There's actually 75 players from the PGA Tour and 75 players from the DP World Tour have access to this tournament. So, it's become just really a high-profile tournament, leading into the Open Championship.
I think it's become one of the more underrated sporting events of the calendar year because it feels like 5 years ago we didn't really talk about the Scottish Open all that much, and they've had some great thrilling finishes, which obviously helps. But was it the PGA Tour getting more involved in it? Because that's the part that I don't. Is that the reason? Because it became more open for players that we follow throughout the year?
Yeah, I think there was, a great thing that happened a long time ago, or not that long ago, but was developing that partnership with the DP World Tour that garnered access for order of merit folks on the DP World Tour to have access to the PGA Tour. And so this becomes one of those co-sanctioned events where players, just like the ISCO Championship in Kentucky and Barracuda next week, the DP World Tour players that don't have access to the Scottish Open
can play
have access to come over to the States and play in PGA Tour events that they wouldn't normally get to play in. So a great partnership leading into the Open Championship and a pathway to playing on the PGA Tour. Laurie Cantor, one of the LIV players that sat out for a year, qualified because of his top 50 status for the Players Championship, is actually one of the merit Order of Merit leaders, and so he could be have full PGA Tour status, next year because of his qualification through the DP World Tour.
Yeah, we have you in here, Lee. We talk about a lot of names. We've hardly ever talked much about Sepp Straka, but boy, and he's one of the 4 leaders now. He's at 6 under. But boy, every time you turn around, he's on a leaderboard. He's playing late on Sunday. He's evolved into a really good player, hasn't he?
Really, really good. I think he was always a really solid ball striker, right to left player that really just kind of had a weakness in his putting and his short game. And whenever he got it going, he could compete. And I think he's created some consistency in that short game and rolling in putts. It's another, for us Americans, another scary Austrian that is going to compete in a Ryder Cup more than likely against us.
I thought in looking at it, pretty solid efforts today from Scheffler and Rory. Obviously, they're not at the top, but again, for world-class players like this, if they come in 3 under, 2 under, just sort of put yourself in striking position. But anything that you took away from today's round, Scheffler at 3 under, Rory at 2 under?
Yeah, I think another one of those things that it's a totally different type of golf. And to go over there, like you say, and get off to a solid start, and only be a couple, 3-4 back. I think they're in a great place and really sharpening their knife for next week. Rory's won this golf tournament. McIntyre, what did Schauffele maybe win it the year before that? I mean, they've really had a good run of winners at the Scottish Open. And then obviously they're preparing their game for just a different type of golf next week.
Tell me about McIntyre. You like him. You told us about him before I'd ever heard of him. Won last year. He finished second to Rory 2 years ago in the Scottish Open. Obviously, he's a countryman. He's good.
Really good.
I mean, lefty play. He's a good player, isn't he?
Left-hander, yeah. You saw him at the U.S. Open. Kind of came out of nowhere, and that hole doesn't get in the way of J.J. Spawn's 60-footer that went in. He's probably got 4 or 5 feet coming back. He misses that, and he ties with McIntyre. And goes into a playoff. Yeah, he's he won what was the tournament he won when his dad was caddying for him when he won the Scottish Open.
Right.
Maybe it was the Scottish Open that his dad was caddying for him. Anyways, he won, and then he won over here, and then obviously now you see his name and pops up. No, a really, really good player.
Is it too early for British Open officials to know what kind of weather they'll have at Royal Portrush, or do they have an indicator a week out?
Yeah, like from a tournament perspective, speaking from like the Players Championship, we're looking at the forecast now. We're probably just more ideating if there is something that's going to be a little bit off or we see something. But as you know, our meteorologist, this year when we had the Sunday weather, our meteorologist doesn't feel totally comfortable until he gets within 36 hours to see really how things are building or deteriorating, where it's going to come through. So with any certainty, it's not really going to help. I mean, you got to get in, more inside of 3 or 4 days.
Is Portrush known for, is it like a lot of the courses over there where it can be very volatile weather-wise?
Yeah, look, I think there's one of the things. I think the interesting thing about Portrush is when they played the tournament there, the Open Championship there in 2019, it was the first time that it had ever been out of England or Scotland since the 50s. And when they took it out of England and Scotland in the 50s, they played at Portrush. And so obviously the success of that event in 19 brings it back now to 2025. And it's totally different from like a typical links golf course. The greens are undulating. Normally a links golf course is relatively flat greens. A lot of bluffs that can get caught by wind and weather conditions. certainly very close to the water, so things can blow in. So you kind of get that consistency of the inconsistent weather. But really a totally different golf course. I think you're one thing that listeners can watch when they see like a Portrush is bunkers tend to be in the fairway, where over here we're used to bunkers being on the edges of fairways.
That's right.
Yeah. They're outside the fairway. You hit a shot towards one, you can over there, bunkers are in the fairway. So you're really making a club choice off of the tee. Do I want to carry that bunker and take it out of play, or do I want to lay short of that bunker and take it out of play?
Let me show you, and for people that don't know, Lee said it's not in Scotland. It's actually in Northern Ireland. That's the point you were making.
Correct.
Why has there not been, is Ireland golf just not as, because obviously Great Britain golf it's not like Scotland where, my buddies don't go to Great Britain to play golf. Or to England to play golf. My buddies go to Scotland to play golf. Probably your buddies too.
Yeah.
What about golf in Ireland? Is it not a thing?
Oh yeah, no, it's big. It's a different type of golf. I would say it's a lot harder in Ireland because more bluffs, more I think they call it like ochre or something. The hillsides and the bushes on the hillside that once you start getting it off the fairways, I think it's a little bit harder in Ireland. I can't answer that. I think I don't know the answer to. I think you get into that open rota that had 8 or 9 different venues, and you kind of bounce between them. Every 5 years you're going to go to St. Andrews, and every 5 years you're going to Carnoustie, and you got the anchor ones, and then you go to like Lytham and a couple others that are actually in England. And then I think it's just a opportunity to start to see golf like the Shane Lowrys and Rorys of the world that you need to take it to where they live.
Yeah, they had the two course records at Royal Portrush. Rory in the old course, as they called it, and Lowry more recently. Let's change gears a little bit. Summer golf. I want to talk about summer golf for people just playing golf. As someone who was a club pro for a long time, and of course you were all over. You weren't a club pro here, but what's summer golf? Is it busier, less busy, or of course it's harder to take care of? You need more water. Tell me about if you're a club pro, you're running a club, summer golf.
Yeah, I think it really depends. I would start by doing a public service announcement that everybody's a little bit different. Golf courses are different levels. Superintendents believe in different things. Obviously, different budgets. All of those types of things. But there's a tendency that obviously when the weather gets hotter, that there's less play. Just like when the weather gets colder, there tends to be less play. The other thing is that, the turf that you have on your golf course, there are some golf courses that will not overseed, which means a Bermuda grass, and we'll get real nerdy here on the agronomic side, but Bermuda grass is a warm season grass that really thrives. The hotter it is, the more that it thrives. And ryegrass, it tends to be a cool season grass that doesn't thrive as well in the hot summer months, but thrives more when temperatures in the evenings are 50 or less. So as an example, like at TPC Sawgrass, right now, if you go and play the stadium course, you're playing on Bermuda grass, but the Players' Championship in March is played on ryegrass. And basically there's a process called overseeding that the last 3 weeks or so of October, we will skin all of the Bermuda grass down, and it really creates a bed of germination for ryegrass seed. So we'll put down ryegrass seed into the Bermuda grass, and then that's what you see on TV in the tournament. Augusta National does the exact same thing. There's a reason, as an example, why Augusta National is not open in the summer, which is because they don't want you to see what it looks like in the summer. Because if you don't let the Bermuda grass thrive and give it enough time, the transition from ryegrass to Bermuda grass and vice versa just makes the golf course not look very good. But Aerification is another process that is always,
How often? You're a club. Do you do it in the middle of the summer? Do you punch? Does it take longer to play after you punch?
I'd say the easiest way to answer that is typically a superintendent each year will want to remove 20% of the surface.
Okay.
And so every 5 years, essentially, the surface completely gets punched. So if each time, depending on the size of the tine that you use, if each time you aerify, you take 6% or 7%, then you're going to do it 3 times throughout the year. Or if you use a bigger tine that takes longer for it to heal and you get 8 or 10%, you'll only do it twice. And certainly you want to do it at a time where on one side, it's not the busiest time of the year, but on the other side, the weather's good enough to where it'll heal quickly. And I always used to say to members, and I truly believe this, they always go, why do you always punch the greens when the greens are perfect?
Right.
And my response is we punch the greens so the greens can be perfect.
Right.
They're perfect because we take care of them, as opposed to waiting until they're perfect and then we put holes in them.
Yeah, and about the whole overseeding thing, that's not just a golf thing. I taken care of baseball fields forever. We would overseed probably by November. Around here anyway.
Well, look at me. I mean,
we played on rye until March or April probably.
Yeah, you turn on the TV. There's certain reasons, and look at team schedules.
Yeah,
I bet the Atlanta Braves in some way, shape, or form have a 10-day road trip or something. That's when they're resodding their field from Bermuda grass to ryegrass, or vice versa, or other outdoor parks that are in the summer. They'll have a long stretch where they're on the road, and that's where they're taking care of their field and their turf to keep it green. When I lived in Atlanta, our superintendent at Sugarloaf was good friends with the Turner Field at that time, their ballpark superintendent, and we always used to talk about them. Two would say, the good thing is you have to be great 1 week a year,
right,
for TV. I got to be great every night.
That's a great point. 81 times.
Yeah.
In terms of playing well at a venue that you've never played at before, when you played at Jack's Golf, what's your advice for a player in that situation if you're getting ready to play at a venue that you're unfamiliar with?
Yeah, don't listen to Frank.
Great advice.
He tells you it goes left, it's probably going right. No, I think probably you start by being relatively conservative. You're not going to try to take it over trees in areas that may call for it if you were to go back and play it again. Or when you see right in front of you and it's 220 to that bunker, instead of playing it you might lay back just a little bit, just because you're unfamiliar with the golf course. So I would say probably the conservative part of it. But yeah, you leave there and you, like any golf course playing one time, you go, I'd miss it here if I had to do it again, or I'd try to hit it here, or those types of things, which I think is the great part about the strategy of golf.
I think one of the joys of golf is playing somebody you haven't played before.
Absolutely.
I mean, because it's cool. It's cool. Oh yeah, and you're right. A player of your level is precise enough to say, okay, next time I'm going to do this or that. Player of my level, it's just cool that I didn't just the look, the optics. I think it's really cool. Final thing, I want to wrap up this whole summer thing. So there's no real rule for when you punch, when you don't. And this isn't a Florida thing because you explained the whole. And I guess the further north you go, you got bent grass and fans. Do they still have the fans on the bent grass?
Some places, that can't create airflow. But that's when you turn on the TV and you see like an Oakmont that removed thousands of trees.
Right.
That's one of the reasons they do it, is to create airflow. Because when you get stagnant, grass is not going to grow in stagnant hot air. So you create airflow by either getting rid of trees or putting fans in that are going to blow it around for you.
Final thing, if someone's saying, okay, me and my boys, we're going to take a golf trip next summer. Okay, we may go to Pinehurst, we may go up to Whistling. Who knows where we go? What's the advice? When is there a better time to go in spring, summer than fall? Well, what's the better time? I mean, you know this stuff better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I would start with budget.
Yeah,
Frank. As an example, you when I lived in Las Vegas, you used Bandon Dunes as a very popular destination.
Buddy of mine just went
for a trip like that. You can actually go to Oregon in February, and probably not get all that dissimilar of temperatures that you're going to get in May or June. but chances are the rates are going to be twice as much.
Okay.
Now you got to get lucky, just like anything. You could get rain and a lot of cold. But I think it starts with budget. I mean, certainly right now, my preference would be, if I was scheduling a group trip, is that I would go north.
Yeah.
Great golf courses with like Cabot in Nova Scotia and Bandon in Oregon and the Wisconsin
Whistling
golf courses. And then obviously in the winter up there, the attraction of February and March to come to Stream Song or do some of those types of places. I think you start with budget and then you start with, or is this a core golf? Like, are you going to play 36 a day?
Right.
Those are the types of places like Stream Song and Bandon Dunes because there's just not much else to do other than play golf. But I'd start with budget. Everybody's a little bit different.
Great work as always. Lee Smith is the executive director of the Players and is our golf analyst. Lee, we appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
We want to thank our friends from Sunshine Turf one more time. If you want a putting green in your backyard, if you want turf in your yard under a play area, this is the number to call, 904-383-0243. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
This partnership is over. I quit.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
What? Just because a couple of broken ankles?
Some of his ribs are also broken.
Mornings on 1010XL.
You are so selfish. Me?
One of Beard's Diamond's most popular events ever is back. It's Christmas in July. Right now, for a limited time, you get as much as 40% off anything in our showcases. Yes, that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, colored gemstones. This is the annual store-wide sale that everyone loves, because you get December prices in July. Up to 40% off store-wide. Don't miss Christmas in July. Exclusively at Beard's Diamond at the St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Coliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Ready to ride the waves? Best Bet St. Augustine is turning up the heat with our Summer Splash promotion. We're giving away over $40,000 in cash and prizes, including a brand new 2025 Yamaha Wave Runner. From now through August 8th, every hour you play poker or table games earns you an entry to win. It all leads up to the grand prize drawing on August 9th. The more you play, the more chances you have. Don't miss your shot to make a splash this summer. Visit bestbetjacks.com for all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The road to the playoffs is paved by a strong off-season.
That is the game within the game.
Navigate the way with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
That's a beautiful thing.
AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coating. Better play, better results.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coating. We coat it all: garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Slam dunk your floors at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coating, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it. And send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at kuhnflowers.com.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Tonight is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Then it's a Fireworks Friday presented by JTA. Hallow Weekend gets started on Saturday as Swisher presents a Mummy Hawaiian shirt giveaway to the first 2,000 fans through the main gates. And the weekend ends with a Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family, fun.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
UCF football coach Scott Frost, I thought, just completely embarrassed himself at Big 12 Media Day with his comments about the Nebraska job. He was asked what went wrong when Frost left UCF, where he'd done great things in Orlando, took the job at his alma mater, where he was a great player at Nebraska. And his comment to the reporter was, "Don't take the wrong job." Are you out of your mind, Scott Frost? How can you possibly say that about the Cornhuskers? How can you possibly say that about your alma mater? It offends me, and I have no love for Nebraska. Scott Frost was 5-22 in one-score games at Nebraska. The next worst in the country, next worst team, had 16 such losses in his tenure there. So he was an abject failure as an X's and O's game manager, coach at Nebraska. He then goes on to say, "I got tugged in a direction to try and help my alma mater and didn't really want to do it." I mean, this is one of the most stunning things I've seen a coach say, and I've never seen a coach talk like this about his alma mater. I mean, look, it didn't work, and maybe you've got some personal grudges against people that work there, but I don't know how he could insult the Nebraska fan base like this. He was 16-31 at Nebraska. It was the second worst record in the Big Ten in that span. Scott Frost, you were a disaster at Nebraska because you suck, not because of anything anyone else did in terms of it being the wrong job. It was absolutely the right job. You just couldn't get it done.
The interesting thing about that was, you know what he's saying. It's not my fault. I can tell you what he's saying. Not my fault. It was. Well,
which is pathetic.
Yeah, I can read between the lines. I'll read between the lines on that. What he's saying is, okay, the NIL wasn't right, and my boss didn't do a good job, and the booster, this guy was against me. You know what he's saying. I've heard 1,000 coaches that wasn't their fault. what you do, even if you believe that.
They did cartwheels for him when he arrived. He had the city in the palm of his hand.
Even if you believe all that, the answer, to your point, and I agree with you, your answer at the Big 12 Media Days, let me tell you your answers. I love Nebraska. I love playing there. I love the fact they gave me a chance. It didn't work out. I take responsibility for that next question. That's the easiest answer ever. Whether it's entirely what you believe or not, the easiest answer is, I love Nebraska. I appreciate them giving me a chance. It'll always be home to me. It didn't work out. I take full responsibility for that. Boom. Now, and if someone presses, yeah, coach, but what didn't work out? There's no point getting into it. I didn't do the job. I didn't get it done. I'm grateful to have another opportunity at UCF. It's that I'm not surprised he felt that way, because all coaches feel that way. Failed coach. There's very few failed coaches that'll tell you it was my fault. They did. That's just. I don't care who you're talking to. There's very few failed coaches who will tell you, my bad, I should have done this. They might say I should have done some things differently, but most of them, to your point, Hayes, wouldn't say that. Not about their alma mater. To that end, all right, college coaches. What's your the top of the list? The top of the list is Kirby and Brian Day and Dabo, I guess, and whoever. We all know the top of the list. Once you get beyond the top of the list, who are the guys people admire? Again, the top of, don't go with one of the top of the list guys, because we know that. There's not a hot coach out there right now, is there?
In terms of like young up and coming?
Or established. I mean, you could go Kyle Whittingham if you want.
I love Jeff Brom.
Yeah, Jeff Brom's a good call. Very good call. Brom's a very good call.
I think
very good call.
I think Brom in 5 years is not at Louisville and has won a national championship
that might be the next
somewhere
guy.
else.
Yeah, that could be the next guy.
So I think that's
I
a
do
great
too,
call.
JJ.
Whittingham, it was interesting. He made it sound at Media Day that he would have retired last year if they'd had a good year, but they had such a disappointing year.
It wasn't such a disaster.
Yeah, so obviously because he's been, it's hard to believe he's the only coach they've had since Meyer left for Florida. And obviously we saw Utah up close playing the Gators for a couple years here recently.
Where do you put Sark in there?
Yeah,
he's a genius.
Yeah, I think Sark's really
good. I think Sark's, I wonder if people like put him in that elite level, considering he hasn't won yet.
Yeah,
he had the best game plan against Florida that any coach has had against the Gators in my experience, in at least the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think Sark's high on the list. I think because he would qualify as not one of the obvious guys. I said let's don't do the obvious guys. He would qualify as right. I think he would qualify as really good, but not one of the obvious.
It's a really shallow pool once you get beyond. I mean,
Dan Lanning.
He's an obvious guy, right?
Yeah, if Lanning,
or would you put him with Sark?
Yeah,
I'd put him more with Sark.
I would too. Marcus Freeman.
He needs another year.
Yeah.
James Franklin, this could be a monumental year for him.
Yeah,
because Penn State is all in on winning the national title.
Yeah,
and if he's able to do that, then he will be because he's been close so many times. That would be a huge boost for James Franklin.
But it's not a long list, is it?
What about a first-year head coach at North Carolina?
That young guy that Carolina has now. But I mean, Lanning, Freeman, Sark for sure. I got to tell you, I think for me, Franklin's fallen off that list. Now
this is a big year, though.
Yeah, it is.
If they come in at like 10-2 with the money they've put towards this team, I think will be in danger. Of losing that job. But I mean, they are all in on doing what Michigan and Ohio State have just done.
Brian Kelly has been on that list. Once upon a time, way back when, Hugh Freeze was on that list.
Kiffin, I think, still on it, although he didn't help himself by losing in the swamp.
I guess Kiffin, you're right. Kiffin's on the list, but he's so quirky, you don't know what to think, And I don't mind quirky if the quirky doesn't affect winning and losing, but it seems like it does.
I didn't think he called a very good game against the Gators.
Yeah,
I thought a really. I mean, when you get out coached by Billy Napier, that's not good.
I'll give you an up and comer that people love.
Okay,
I don't necessarily, but people love him. Fran Brown.
Yeah,
he's at Syracuse, and he's put together a pretty good roster. He's able to get some recruits that you would never expect.
And
he's got like a win or die attitude when we've interviewed him on the show before.
I'll be interested to see.
Is he the guy that says he won't shower if he loses?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about Signetti? Where's Signetti? Is he
That's a good one.
too new to the party?
Yeah.
He ran his mouth a lot last year.
Yeah,
he's kind of new to the party.
Need to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but certainly, I mean, what he did at Indiana is very impressive.
is
I think I think it's really shallow. I think it's tough. It's if you need a head coach, if let's just say if it doesn't work out for Napier, it doesn't work out for Norvell, it doesn't work out for Cristobal. I mean, there's not a list of 8 to 9 guys that I think are rising stars.
Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, he's one.
He's one.
He's got to be on that list.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for
he'd
me,
be a lot of AD's first call.
Yeah, I would think he's that guy now.
Right.
If
he's at his alma mater, so that's going to be a tough. But I think he'd leave.
He's probably, as far as a young guy hot list, we always have one of those. He probably heads that list.
Isn't it amazing that we've been talking about this for a few minutes and the name Lincoln Riley hasn't come up when he would have led this? He would have been the first name out of your mouth for about a 6-year run.
I think he's fallen off the list.
He's absolutely fallen off the list.
To me, Franklin, Brian Kelly, a lot of those guys that I thought were on that list, Hugh Freeze once upon, have all fallen off the list. Jeff Brom's a great call. He's on the list.
He's ascending, I think.
Kenny Dillingham is certainly a good call. He's on the list. Signetti's an older guy. He's in his mid-60s, but that doesn't mean in today's day and age, they coach in their mid-70s, So,
yeah.
But it's really, and again, I'll be with a lot of them next week at the SEC Media Days. As we get to the SECs, I've thought about this. I've thought, okay, Kirby's Kirby. Sark, I agree. Sark is still ascending. If Sark wins the whole thing this year, he may go to the top of the list.
Yeah, he needs a title, but certainly it's looking very promising.
Yeah, so he could go to the top. After that, if you look at the SEC coaches, I don't know what to think of Kalen DeBoer. I don't know that I've seen enough of Kalen.
I don't like
what about Heupel?
Yeah, Heupel. You know what? I like Heupel. Heupel is ascending.
I like Heupel, but
he has a built-in excuse this year.
Yeah, but I need to see they need to be better on defense. Yeah. He's clearly a great offensive.
Yeah, but
mind.
they need to take a next step.
But I need to see a more well-rounded program.
Yeah, they made the playoffs and got hammered. Can he become one of the elite 4 or 5 teams in the country like Clemson became, like Oklahoma was for a while? That's a good call though. I like.
Oh
him.
yeah, I mean he's got a lot of promise.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
the guy. One of the guys. But as we go to the SEC next week, I'm thinking, I don't know that Mike Elko is that yet. I love Shane Beamer as a guy, but I don't know that he's that. Eli might be that at some time, but I don't think he's there yet. Napier obviously is not there yet. Hopefully he'll get there to have a great season, but he's not there. Brian Kelly was there. Hugh Freeze was there. Kalen DeBoer, I don't know what to think, but I'm not.
I haven't been impressed.
Yeah, not yet. Right, not yet. So at the SEC next year, which used to have all those guys, it's kind of Kirby and Sark and about everybody else, isn't it?
I would say there's a clear pecking order, which has been rare.
Who's third? If it's Kirby and Sark, who's third? Who's third on the coach you'd want on your team? If Florida fires Billy Napier and they could have any of those other 14 from the SEC other than Kirby or Sark, who'd you take?
I'd take Lane.
Would you take Lane Kiffin? Okay. Give JJ, what about it?
I was going to say that. I think he's clearly the number 3 for me.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe it's hard.
But I think to your point, we haven't seen it be the SEC reflects the national pool. It's as shallow. It's how usually most years third best SEC coach would be somebody with a national championship, probably has played for another, has probably won 3 conference titles.
Right.
And now you can make an argument it's Lane Kiffin, who's never won anything of consequence as a head coach and is coming off a season where they were playoffs or bust and busted.
Yeah, and they did.
Never even been to an SEC title, if I'm right.
And I got a hunch. Brian Kelly, who I like personally, he comes on. He and Matt are close. He comes on with us a lot. I think if they win 7 games, he's fired.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I think
they're the southern version of Penn State.
Yes,
it's
they are.
Penn State and LSU.
Yes,
Those
they
are the
are.
2 schools that have said enough is enough.
Their quarterbacks are coming back.
We're gonna whatever money it takes.
Correct.
We are going to blank check and we are going to buy a national championship, which is what you should. That's not a criticism.
Right.
But they have taken their investment to the level where Ohio State took theirs, where Michigan took theirs, where it's.
And they can.
Yes.
Penn State and LSU can say, we have the resources that Ohio State and Alabama have. I mean, some schools, Wake Forest is never going to have that.
Right.
I'm not sure Ole Miss is ever going to have that. But LSU has the ability. I say this all the time. It's not about the money that the people that contribute to your endowment. It's not. It's about that and how important it is. I've said this 1,000 times. Do you think for a minute there's more rich Alabama boosters than there are Stanford? Not even close. Not even close. You think there's more rich Alabama boosters than rich Alabama alumni than Harvard? Not even close. The difference is every one of those Alabama guys puts some money into football. That's the difference. Not that they have more, that they commit more of it to it. You know, the biggest endowment in the country is Harvard. It's the biggest endowment by a wide margin. It's just they're not putting it into football. They're putting it into unimportant stuff like solving cancer, okay, and research and whatnot. So, or curing cancer. So, but anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Who would you take if Billy Napier got fired and you had to take an SEC coach?
Lane. I want to go somewhere else. But
what if you expanded it out? Would Brom be number one on your list if Napier didn't make it?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Brom was number one on my list when they hired Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brom would still be on my list.
I'll give you one that somebody texted in just now. I got to give him credit, which I didn't think of, but I love this guy, Rhett Lashley.
Yeah. I need to see it.
Offensive mind, which people love.
I need to see it again.
If he wins 9 games, and they won more than that last year.
Yeah.
But if he gets them back to 9 wins or more, he's going to get a massive job.
But he is the offensive minded young.
He's exactly what everybody's
swashbuckler that they've all.
He just needs more of a track record.
He's what they've all. Final thing. Dion, where are you on Dion?
I will say this: I'm surprised he's still there. I thought he would coach Colorado until his sons and Travis Hunter were gone, and then he'd go off and do something else. So I commend him for being committed to Colorado and wanting to obviously continue to lead that program. You hope his medical will allow him to continue to coach for as long as he wants. If his medical is good, then I would not want him at Florida,
right?
But I think he would make look. If I don't know that he would take this job, but if he was really wanting to get into the SEC, if like Kentucky came open, which I think it could, I think this could be Mark Stoops' last year there.
Right.
And again, not that that's a great job, but if he wanted to get to the SEC, I think a mid-level SEC job, I would consider Deion Sanders.
We'll keep it on college football. I got a thought or two about Carson Beck. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
You love him.
A friend.
You hate him.
I guess irony can be pretty ironic sometimes.
You love to hate him and hate to love him.
That's not possible.
It is with this. Ryan the Hacker Green.
Starting to get the picture?
Right after Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Join us Tuesday, July 15th when we host Jaguars cornerback Jarian Jones. The former Seminole will be signing autographs July 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. Get ready for training camp with Jarian Jones signing at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago, went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Be the first to hear from the players and coaches of the SEC.
That's awesome.
The Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days. Elevated by Lucas Tree Service, Pine Royale Golf Club, and 904 Gutters with a Z.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. Helmets and Heels is back at Circa Resort and Casino with 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Here's the scoop. In Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week for quarterly prizes and a $1 million grand prize for the season winner. Then there's the legendary Circa Survivor. 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins a guaranteed $15 million. Must enter in Nevada, then play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for all the details.
Plus, sign up for either contest and score 50% off a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino. You can even join the ultimate football kickoff with Helmets and Heels in Vegas, August 21st and 22nd while you enter. Book your stay at Circa now and chase $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. For full contest details, check out 1010XL.com/Vegas. Vegas, baby.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Head down to VyStar Ballpark tonight for Coors Light Thirsty Thursday during Game 1 of the Shrimps doubleheader starting in just a few minutes. Left-handed pitcher Robbie Snelling gets his first AAA start tonight. With last night's game being postponed due to weather, they'll make it up after Game 1 concludes tonight. The Gators men's basketball team will be heading back to the Orange Bowl Classic Saturday, December 13th, when they'll take on George Washington at Amerant Bank Arena in South Florida, the only Division I basketball event in Broward County. This will be the 24th time the Gators have played in the event and have a 19-4 record all time. For tickets, visit orangebowl.org/basketball. It's 89 degrees at 5:07 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We thank our friends from Stanley Pools. Not only did they build our pool, they renovated it. They've done the pavers and the wall and the lights in our backyard. They really built our backyard. But in addition to that, they serviced our pool, and boy, do they do a good job. That pool's always in great shape. You can trust my friends always. It's Stanley Pools. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva with you. Carson Beck is 23 years old. One of the best high school quarterbacks in Jacksonville history. Won a state title in Mandarin. Was Mr. Football at Mandarin. Went to Georgia, as you know. Was the backup on the 2 title teams. Then became a starter. In 2023, they were 12-1. And, of course, the season ended with that 63-3 walloping of the Knowles. A year later, last year, they were 11-2. He is 24-3 as a starter. 24-3. 58 touchdowns, 20 picks in his career. Yet he's a big-armed guy. He's 24-3 as a starter, Hayes. But there's still some doubts about Carson Beck out there. Why?
Because we've seen his worst football the latest. His most recent football has been his worst. And so I think it's and I think, again, you have to wonder about the supporting talent that he had at a place like Georgia, where it's, everybody's a 5-star basically. And so I think that there's that. I think this is unfair to the kid, but I think he gets a little bit of knocked from a personality standpoint, high profile dating relationships, purchasing of Lamborghinis, even though he's certainly entitled to do all of that. But I think, I think at times people view that through a negative prism. And so I think that's why he doesn't get the notoriety or maybe the positive praise that those numbers would indicate that he should.
As I look at this, I think, JJ, you're a Miami fan. How excited are you about getting Carson Beck?
Well, I was a big Carson Beck hater last year, but the fact that Miami was looking at who they were looking at to be the starter, I was like ecstatic when they signed Carson Beck, because it was like, hey, you're going to have this guy who's played in like half a game or a game a couple years ago against Florida State who stunk, or a guy like you just went over his record. I don't necessarily think he's going to like put up gaudy numbers, but I know that he's going to be a leader. He's going to know where he's going to go with the ball, where he's supposed to go with the ball, get all these younger players in line, because he is going to have a lot of young talent around him. So I don't think he's going to put up like gaudy Cam Ward numbers, but I think that he's going to be a leader out there and do what needs to be done, not a lot of turnovers, and just win the games.
It's hard not to root for Carson, a Jacksonville guy. Had him on the air at the SEC Media Days with us last year. He was great. I've known the family a little bit, not well. But I'm really curious to see what he becomes. He clearly has NFL pedigree. I mean, he's got the NFL certainly traits. I mean, this guy looks like an NFL guy. This guy's got the NFL look to him. He is 6'3", 6'4". He's got the big arm. He's a drop back guy. He's more athletic than you would imagine. He's definitely not a statue. But there's still some people that think something's missing. So it'll be very interesting to see. I think and look,
he didn't look like he was reading defenses well at all last year. Throwing in the coverage, you're just like, what are you seeing out there?
And in the Florida game, you really saw that. The Florida game, it was weird. It was almost like an out of body thing that he made some choices there that you really scratched your head at. He threw 2 or 3 balls right to defenders in that game. So and lost probably a little bit of confidence in that game. So. And then got hurt on the last play of the championship game. It's just a weird deal for him. So it'll be very interesting to see. And here's the thing. He goes to Miami, to a team that had their best team in a while, but Miami had to have JJ the best offense they've had in many, many years, if not ever, right? And
remember what they were on third down? It was ridiculous.
Like over 50%.
I mean, they were like 4 points better, percentage points better than any other team in the country for a while there. I don't know where it
certainly
finished,
the best offense I've ever seen.
So and he's got in Shannon Dawson. I think he's got a really good coordinator. That's you talk about a young guy that's going to be a head coach, and I think a good one. He's really good. So he's going to a really good coordinator, a team coming off of a really good offensive year. The skill around him, JJ, give me a grade.
I'd give you like a B-, but his O-line I'd give an A+.
Yeah, so I
think it's going to be one of the best O-lines in college football.
So he'll be protected. He's got a very good play caller. It's an ACC schedule, not an SEC or Big Ten schedule. Everything points to he should have a very good year. You would think.
You would think, but I can't. My expectations aren't that for him.
And I don't think you're alone.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more what we saw last season than what we saw the year prior when he had Brock Bowers and McConkey so we'll see. I mean, he's one of the biggest riddles of the college football season, because if he plays as he did 2 years ago, Miami should have a chance to really have a special year. But if he is turnover prone like he was last year, then it could be tough.
He's got a chance to be the best ever First Coast area high schooler to be a good NFL quarterback. I was thinking about, we talked about this at the top of the program. I don't think we've ever had one. We've had guys that hung around in the league. John Wolford is now, but I don't think we've ever had. I'm trying to think of some of the best college quarterbacks we've ever had that played high school here. Tebow, obviously, if you talk about college quarterbacks, that's where the bar is, and no one's going to hit that bar. I mean, he won a Heisman Trophy and 2 national titles. That's no one else did that. So you got to almost take him out of the conversation. Riley Skinner was very good. Bowles quarterback who played at Wake Forest was a very good player.
ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah, What
about Mac?
Yeah, Mac Jones was very good. He went to Alabama, high in the Heisman voting. Mac Jones is so Riley Skinner and Mac Jones very, very high on the list. When you get beyond them, you got to go back a little bit. I can remember you old enough to remember when Alan Hall was supposed to be all the rage?
Sure,
from Middleburg, went to Miami, and nothing good ever happened there. Jeff McCrone around the same time played at Orange Park, went to Florida State. I talked about John Wolford. One of the best college quarterbacks to ever come out of here was Don Gaffney in the 70s. Ask Steve Carline about Don Gaffney. Sure. He was the first black starting quarterback in Florida history and was a very good player. Mm-hmm. He was a very good player at Florida in 73, 74, those years.
Kyle Parker was a good quarterback at Bartram Trail High School and then was a pretty good quarterback at Clemson.
Right.
This would have been before,
that's right.
I think, Taj Boyd. I think it went like Kyle Parker.
I think that's right.
Taj Boyd. Then they
right.
got really hot.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. But I think that's right. I think, and obviously he pursued baseball. And was very good. Kyle was a very good baseball player. But I'm trying to think. Mac Jones, Riley Skinner, Don Gaffney back in the day, John Wolford more recently, and again, obviously, none of them were what Tebow was. We know that. Who are we missing? Anybody of significance that we are missing? You talked about Rusty Smith, who got a contract with the Titans, played at FAU, but certainly we didn't follow him as a collegian. Atrus Bell was a very good quarterback at Lee High School, which is what it was called then, and then became a receiver at Florida State. But that's it. That's kind of the list, isn't it?
Yeah, because really here at the high school level, you ran the ball.
Right.
That's what
right.
you did.
That's
you
right.
didn't really try to throw it. And then it was really, the Tebow, the Craig Howard, spread, Tebow having the success. Then it became, and we're just now, I think, getting to that point where you're seeing the dividends of that paying off with quarterbacks that have grown up their entire life with the spread and the passing game being more the focus of high school.
Yeah.
And now it's very common. I mean, most high school offenses, it seems like they don't really use much of a tight end. I mean, it's 4 receivers, it's spread.
It's an extension of the 7-on-7 that you see.
Correct. And so, I do think that we're going to enter into an age, and maybe Carson Beck will help launch it, starting next year in the NFL, where you will start to see some good representation. But forever, it was almost an impossibility.
Yeah, they ran the wing tee and handed the ball off. That's exactly right. Colin Hurley, who was in the accident, the terrific player out of Trinity, now at LSU, hopefully he can rehab and be very good. But Carson Beck's got a chance to be the best to come out of here. We'll see if it turns out. Let's take a break. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Tommy Mack joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl for the new and improved Helmets and Heels. New attitude, new time. Catch the new look Helmets and Heels afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL. Tommy Mack makes his Helmets and Heels debut July 14th.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Coming soon, Pine Royale, a fully illuminated synthetic par 3 course built for day or night play. Plus a driving range with TrackMan Tech for virtual courses and interactive games. Mini golf, restaurant, and bar all in one place. Whether you're a serious golfer or just here for good vibes and great food, Pine Royale brings fun nonstop. Smash a burger, a bucket of balls, and even a night round under the lights. Grab your clubs, your crew, and your short game. Pine Royale is coming soon off I-295. Learn more at pineroyale.cc.
Experience professional grade at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. That's right, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. Nimnik also has the largest selection of GMC's impressive SUV lineup, like the all-new redesigned GMC Acadia and the highly sought-after Yukon and Yukon XL. Curious about an EV? Well, you can save big with the all-new GMC Hummer EV, SUV, and truck, plus the all-new GMC Sierra EV. Now with cash incentives, now is the time to take an EV test drive. So shop at Nimnik today. That's Nimnik Buick GMC. Who's got the best prices, the best products? Nobody but Nimnik. We are professional grade GMC.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds with as much as 40% off everything in the store. Maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. You can do it now and save as much as 40% off Beard's already unbeatable prices. And don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July. Save up to 40% exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. The gang is all here. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start in the NFL. We've been talking about Jeremy Fowler's rankings of the top 10 at each position based on what executives, coaches, and scouts shared with him, over 70 in this poll. It's been really interesting. They got to the edge rushers. Myles Garrett is first, followed by TJ Watt and Micah Parsons. Aiden Hutchinson 7th, despite only playing 5 games last season, but obviously he was brilliant in those 5 games prior to the injury.
Yeah, I like that list. I think the first 3 are correct. I think in the correct order. I would say Aiden Hutchinson is going to break in high on that list. Hayes, he is a really good player, and he is a pure exterior pass rusher. That is what he is. So I like the list. I think the list of what you read so far is pretty good.
In the AFC South, Houston's Will Anderson led the way, ranking 8th. His teammate Danielle Hunter is 9th. No Jaguars were included in the top 10 or 4 honorable mention spots, but Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker were 2 of the 7 players in the receiving votes category. The Colts and Titans didn't have a player mentioned.
Yeah, and until the Jags win more, people aren't going to notice Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon. I think Josh Hines-Allen is going to have a really big year. I was on with Mike today on Jaguars Today, and I told him I really think Josh Hines-Allen slimmed back down in a defense that'll fit him better. I think Trayvon too. I'll bet those guys are good this year. I'd be very surprised if they're not. I really am.
Absolutely. In terms of local players, very cool to see Jared Verse was 10th on this list.
Player,
so the former Knoll is, boy, did he have an incredible rookie season, and I think he's just getting warmed up. He'll be a mainstay on this list.
I'll tell you what, as much as people want to beat up Mike Norvell for whatever he will be and will he get fired and the disaster that was last year's season and the tough start, I'll give him credit, man. You talk about going out and finding those guys in the portal, finding Jared Verse, finding Braden Fisk, finding Jordan Travis. I mean, you think about finding Keon Coleman, finding Johnny Wilson. It's not easy to hit that many home runs. Trey Benson, it's not really to have that many home runs in a few portal classes, and he really did that. So again, you may never see it again there or anywhere else. And I agree with you. Verse is a really good player.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's get to college football. We talked about Deion Sanders earlier in the show. The Colorado coach says college football needs a salary cap.
Yeah, and you know what? It does. I will tell you, watching the early results, or the early returns, I should say, Hayes, after the House settlement is in place, it's still going to be wonky, man. You know that? It's still going to be, people are going to try and cut every corner. And we'll see if this clearinghouse. Deion's right. There should always be a cap to what you can spend. The problem is, even if you there sort of is one. There's not one on NIL, which is what he's talking about. But it's going to be awfully hard to manage. It really will.
Yeah, until they have a CBA, it's just going to be a mess. Let's get it to the NBA. We'll start with the world champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. One of their superstars, Jalen Williams, who was like a son to me, received a 5-year extension worth up to $287 million. The Thunder have extended SGA, Holmgren, and now Williams for a total of $822 million this offseason.
Some guy named Jalen Williams, whoever that is,
who I wouldn't have known 4 weeks ago,
is making $55 million a year.
Yeah,
$55 million a year for some guy named Jalen Williams. God bless America. Is this a great country or what?
It's incredible. And boy, to be a Thunder fan and have those 3 locked up for the next 5 years.
I agree.
I mean,
and good for them.
They're going to have a lot of fun.
The Thunder, which
stay healthy.
The Thunder, which had never won anything, if you don't count Seattle's win, have never won anything. They said, you know what? We won with these 3 very important young players. We're going to make sure we have them for a long time. Let everybody else complain about who goes where. We're keeping our guys. Tip of the cap to them.
It doesn't seem like anybody that these deals are ever critiqued at all. JJ, when these deals get done, is it pretty much just overwhelming support of, yeah, this is what you got to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we talked about it the other day with the Paolo one. It's just expected.
Right. Devin Booker, we talked about this earlier, Frank. Huge deal as Phoenix signs him to a 2-year extension worth a maximum of $145 million. That's a pretty good average per year salary right there. The 28-year-old Booker did average 25.6 points per game and 7.1 assists per game last season for the Suns.
I remember watching WGN. Harry Carey on the call. Oh, Bobby, and I can remember that. And I can remember when Ryan Sandberg got a $7 million deal. Do you remember that? Ryan Sandberg got $7 million a year. And I remember me and my buddies thinking, that'll never happen again in sports. Nobody will ever again get $7 million a year. Devin Booker's getting $72 million a year.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is. I mean, the sports contracts, I mean, that goes all the way back to Babe Ruth's famous comment about who was the president at the time. It was during the Depression. Yeah. But he was asked about making more than Hoover. He was asked about making more than President Hoover, and he said, look, I had a better year last year than he did.
Right.
I mean, you're talking that's over 100 years ago, or roughly 100 years ago. And, then in the 80s, it was Sports Illustrated would release the magazine every year with what they made.
Right.
And it would be, little headshots of the players with their salaries on it. And then it was Steve Spurrier making $1 million to coach college football. And how could Florida do this?
Right.
I mean, we've always thought there's no way this can continue, but it always does and will continue to do so.
$72.5 million for Devin Booker. Not
amazing.
Michael Jordan.
Right.
Not LeBron. Devin Booker, who, by the way, is a very good player.
Yeah, sure.
But Devin Booker is getting $72.5 million per year. Wow.
It is. It's amazing. In the world of college basketball, we have some wooden odds from Bet Online on the future player of the year.
Tommy Houck, the leading candidate?
Houck is on the list. He is not the leading candidate. Purdue's Braden Smith is the leading candidate at 5-1. I would not bet that. Boogie Fland was the highest Gator, 25-1. He's tied for 8th highest.
Right.
So it does speak to what the Vegas boys and girls think of his skill set. It's probably been a while since Florida's had a player on this list tied for 8th. Obviously, the transfer from Arkansas. And Thomas Houck is on the list. I think it's a great bet, 75-1. And Alex Condon got no mention. So if you wanted to put Condon down, you would get the field 100-1.
You'd make a lot of money. The Braden Smith, I don't know a lot about him. I will say everybody loves this Purdue team. You and I've had this talk.
Yeah, it's Smith, and they've got the other guy with the 3 names, the power forward that's coming back. They were all Americans, but yeah,
we'll see.
I'm not at all. If you told me right now Florida's got to get through Purdue, I'd have absolutely no problem with that. So
without knowing him, me too, and that's probably not a very informed opinion because I haven't seen him very much. But everybody loves that Purdue team.
They do,
sure.
Absolutely. Let's get into golf. The Scottish Open is underway. Scotty Scheffler fired a 3-under 67 today. Rory McIlroy was 2 under, so pretty good respective rounds for the 2 superstars. Sepp Straka among 4 players tied for the lead at 6 under, so should be a really fun event. If you want to watch morning golf, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be a fantastic event over in Scotland.
Yeah, a lot of guys went really low. There was if you look at the list of 3 under par all the way to 6 under par, so it was playing easy today by their standards.
Without a doubt. Let's get it to youth baseball. Frank, tell us about what Walk-Off is doing in terms of offering free fall developmental youth leagues.
Yeah, we started our free fall leagues. It's from ages 6 through 12. Nobody pays at Walk-Off. You know that. You wear sweet uniforms. You get really good coaching. You play that beautiful Bregan baseball complex over there at Fort Family. And we just like to have kids come. It's only about a 6-week schedule. It's very easy. I think Tuesday and Friday night are the games. But look, we're really trying, Hayes, to introduce more and more kids to baseball. We had a phenomenal year last year with 77 teams in our spring league, and our scout teams have had a very good summer. Our older travel teams with all minority players, and yeah, we want everybody to play. Any kid can play, by the way. There's no rules. As long as you're between 6 and 12, you don't pay. Doesn't matter. You want to come play baseball with us, we'd love to have you do it. Go to walkoffcharities.com, and that's how you can sign up.
Sounds great. Let's get it to soft drinks. On this day.
You don't see that very often in headlines.
Yeah.
We do a lot of headlines. That's the first time you've ever gotten into soft drinks.
That's right.
Love this.
Well, it's an important topic.
I have no
One
doubt.
that's close to my heart. On this day, back in 1985, Coke brings back its original formula just 78 days after introducing New Coke. I can tell you, as a 9-year-old, this brought an end to my childhood version of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
What I would like to know is 78 days prior, who is the Coke's marketing specialist that here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Coke, and it's been the greatest beverage in the history of beverages in the world. Let's change it. Who said, hey, boss, let's change it? And what boss said, you know what? I like it, Skip.
I love it.
I like it, Skip. Promote him right now. What do we do? Who said that? I want to know. I need a name. I want to know the name.
Yes, I agree. We need a documentary.
New Coke.
I honestly, when I saw it was 78 days, it felt shorter. Like it was such an abject disaster. And, you know, when you're a kid, you don't pay attention to current events. But this affected me. I mean, how could you possibly change the recipe of Coke? It's perfect.
Let me tell you
what. Anyway, so
when
78 days of torture before the original formula was back on shelves.
When you're 9 or 10 years old in the 60s and you just got through mowing that lawn and it was 7,000 degrees and you got that little Coke in that green glass bottle after you had, oh my God.
It's all worth it.
Might have been the greatest day of your life.
Yes, without a doubt. Let's get it to crime. Frank, does the name Doc Antle ring a bell to you?
No.
Okay. Doc Antle of Tiger King fame.
Oh, shut up. Shut the front door.
Yeah, sentenced to 1 year in prison for, get this, animal trafficking.
The one with the wives.
The one with the wives. Yep.
Now I remember Doc.
The rival of Tiger King, Doc Antle.
How about Tiger King?
Has run afoul of the law.
Yeah. How about Tiger King?
Yeah.
You talk about things that went on during
He's
COVID.
in prison too.
He is.
Oh, he's still in, isn't he?
Probably.
Yeah.
He's been in for a while.
What about, was there Carol Baskin?
Yeah.
She's
out.
She's chuckling somewhere
Even though
right now.
she murdered her husband.
Had him do a tiger.
She murdered her husband, and now she's just laughing and joking. And she's still giggling. Remember she giggled after every interview?
Yeah.
She's still, I know he died, but giggle.
Tiger King was so great.
Tiger King was
probably the
tremendous.
best documentary series I've ever seen.
It might have been. It might have been.
The twists and turns in that thing. I mean,
Well, I mean, what they would
guy
do
gets his hand bit off, or a lady gets her hand bit off, and still stays, and then he accidentally shoots. Some guy that works there accidentally kills another guy that works there. That's his boyfriend. Boyfriend's with him. Like, what a show!
And they did a great job with revealing stuff. Like you'd hear this lady talk, and you'd say it was really tough day, and then they'd pull away, and she'd have no arms. It's amazing. I miss Tiger King. I had to go back. I need to go back.
It was so good.
And it was during COVID when no one was watching anything.
It couldn't have come out. That and The Last Dance came out at the perfect time.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, particularly for us because we had no sports to talk about. Let's get into pop culture. Movies could be coming back, Frank. Jurassic World Rebirth made $147 million in its opening weekend. That joins F1 in the final Mission Impossible film and what's becoming a quality summer movie slate. So maybe getting back out there, going to the movies might be coming back in vogue a little bit.
Suzanne and I love going to the movies. We haven't gone enough lately because people quit going at COVID. By the way, I've heard F1's really good.
Yeah, I have too. I haven't seen it.
I talk people that I trust. I've heard it's really, really.
I've heard the same
and I'm
thing.
not an auto racing guy, but I hear it's really, really good.
Yeah, I saw the Mission Impossible movie. Gene and I went to see that. It was good. It was absolutely good. I would recommend. We hadn't seen all of them, but it was very easy to keep up with.
Did you go to the theater?
We did. We saw it in the movies.
Did you go to the shaky seats?
We didn't have shaky seats.
My wife loves the shaky seats.
Yeah, we went to. This was more the recliner, where it's more comfort and everything.
Yeah, we're gonna
so
go.
it didn't have the bells and whistles.
We're going to go to the shaky seats, I think.
For that, I would recommend it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. We will get you guys out on our musical note of the day. Sir Paul McCartney is hitting the road. The Got Back tour.
How about that?
The 83-year-old former Beatle announced 19 shows in the U.S. this fall. The closest show for us is in Atlanta. McCartney has written or co-written a record 32 songs that have topped the Billboard charts. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Beatles in 1988, which had to be their first class, and inducted as a solo performer in 1999. This is Get Back. Paul McCartney hitting the road. That's awesome.
Fantastic. And I'd love to. I've never seen him in concert. I saw him at the Super Bowl, but that's 4 songs.
Yeah.
I've never seen him really in concert, and I would love to see Paul. Good for it. 83. Going on the road at 83 years old.
Yeah.
God, and he looks great. He and Ringo
does.
both look great. Great work as always.
Thank you.
Back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A 2-time batting champion being designated for assignment by the New York Yankees. That is DJ LeMahieu, despite the fact that he is still owed $22 million over the next couple seasons, including this year. Yankees have been scuffling here recently. They currently are tied with the third best odds to win the World Series this year with the Philadelphia Phillies at plus 800. The Dodgers are the World Series favorite at plus 220, and the Tigers have the second best odds at plus 700. Yankees have the second best odds to win the American League at plus 330 behind the Tigers, who sit at plus 250.
Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
I'm 1010XL's media mogul, Dan Hicken, and before the weekend hits, I break down what to watch and where to be. Catch Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook, provided by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole family can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the San Antonio Gunslingers. This Saturday, July 12th at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Kickoff at 7. Ask about the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Sharks smell the playoffs in the water. It's rock and roll night presented by Dick's Wings. Dress up as your favorite rock star for a chance to win a prize or join us on the field after the game for our free autograph session sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Ask about our new 4-pack, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Hi, where have we been today on the program? Lee Smith stopped by. Such a good golf analyst. Talked all about the Scottish Open, what's going on now, and the British right around the corner. Also talked about summer golf and whether courses are in great shape, not great shape. He does such a great job. Talked about that. We talked about Carson Beck on the program today and what the expectations are for the former Mandarin High football player. Talked about quarterbacks that have come out of here, as a matter of fact, and talked a little college football coaching as well, and the big salaries in the NBA. That's where we've been over the course of the program today. You and I were talking during the break about the SEC Media Days. I think it's been my 37th one. I've gone to a lot of those.
Wow.
But I missed the days. I was just telling you during the break. Well, I missed the days when there wasn't nearly as much media. You know, because you'd hang out with the coaches the night before. I told you one story. I remember one year Spurrier got there the night before. He was in the following morning, and he was standing in line to check in. And I was there with a few other guys, and I walked by. He was totally impatient guy. Yes, he's three or four guys deep trying to check in at the Winfrey, and he goes, I said, you got a long line. He goes, hey, go grab me a beer. So went in the bar, got his 2 Coors Lights, came back. By the time I'd gotten back with the 2 Coors Lights, he had checked in. We sat there right in the lobby. Spurrier, me, 1 or 2 other guys. Nobody harassing him. There weren't 500 members of the media attacking.
With phones in his face recording.
Right. There was none of that. We just sat there.
Or SIDs trying to keep you away from their coach.
It was just Steve, me, about 2 other guys. We just sat there, had a little round area in the lobby there. Drank a beer, about 20 minutes. Then he went up to his room. And that day's over.
Yeah.
I can still remember another time very early on. This is back when it was downtown at Casey's before it moved out to Hoover. I mean, this might have been the 3rd or 4th year they ever had it there. And I can still remember Curly Hallman was the LSU coach, and my friend David Lamb, God rest his soul, was there. And they were buddies, and they were. The shows all ended. That was the Jay Solomon show. Our shows all ended in the afternoon. And I can still remember Curly came out and said, Dave, what you doing? And the sports bar was right there in the downtown in the Birmingham, the Hilton or whatever it's called, the downtown Birmingham hotel. And the Sheraton downtown. And said, let's get a beer. So Curly Hallman and David Lamb went to get a beer, and right there, about 6 o'clock. Back then we were on till 7, but it was 6 Central. So about 10 after 6, they went to get a beer. We talked for a minute. Then I went and took a shower. And then Dooley and Bianchi and Chris Harry, all of us, we went out to dinner. Got back at, 9:15. Curly and David still at the bar. It was fantastic. I mean, they were going. David Lamb and Curly Hallman had gone deep that night. That's the way they used to. It was just fantastic. That's the way it used to be.
Yeah. It's a different era, unfortunately, now.
Yeah,
it's very buttoned up. Those guys will private plane it in.
That's exactly right.
Come into the facility, do their a couple of hours, and be back on that plane heading back to campus.
In their suits and all. That's exactly right. So it's a little bit different. But I'm looking forward to it. I think
it'll really be cool for you guys to talk to DJ Lagway, and we feel like we kind of know him, but he really hasn't done a lot of interviews.
Yeah, that's right. And I would assume he'll make the rounds. He slaughter.
Well, shame on them if they're going to take him. Then he needs to
all the rounds.
Yeah.
And so you're exactly and good on them for not saying we're going to take 3 seniors who learn their stripes. You take the people, you take the guys that the fans want to hear from, and we as the members of the media are the conduit to that. You're not trying to treat your media right. You're trying to treat your fans correctly. And the best way to treat your fans correctly is allow us to be the media or the conduit for them so they can hear from DJ Lagway.
I haven't seen the list, but I'm interested in seeing how many teams don't take a quarterback.
Yeah, you know my feeling. I think you should always have to bring a quarterback. Now, I know the opposite of that, or the counterpoint to that, I suppose, Hayes, is what if you have a legitimate quarterback battle that's gonna work its way into the fall. I get that, or work its way into fall camp. But barring that, I think you should always have to bring a quarterback to one of these media days.
I think Dion brought both of his because he was like, honestly, he was like, I don't know who's going to start, but we brought both.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But you should
always have a quarterback.
And it's certainly, if you know who your starter is, then it's ridiculous not to bring your quarterback.
Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Rick, we were talking earlier in the program about Carson Beck, one of the best high school quarterbacks to ever come out of here. He's 24-3 as a starter, yet there's still some doubt about Carson Beck, isn't there, as he gets set for his year in Miami?
I think he's real good.
Yeah.
I think he's just. I think Gunnar Stockton. We're going to have to see here, but that's obviously to me the big concern for Georgia going in. I went through the top games yesterday, and I had Georgia. And Alabama, when it's all said and done, I think will be the top game in the regular season this year. Yeah, I don't know why that is with Carson Beck. I mean, Chris Leak was never loved at Florida, and he won a national title.
That's a very good point.
There's been quarterbacks around here for one reason or another. They just don't get the credit and the respect that others do get.
Yeah. So how do you think he'll do at Miami?
I think he's going to be really good. And, as a matter of fact, we're going to go through last week I did best case, worst case for all the Blue Bloods in the SEC. Tonight I'm going to do Florida State and Miami. Can you imagine being at Miami those first 20 days when Notre Dame and Florida comes in?
Hey, man, you just covered all the Blue Bloods in the ACC. So well done. Well done. I see what you did there. So
I may use that. Imagine being the first 3 weeks at the U.
Yeah, I know.
Where you got Notre Dame coming in, then you got Florida coming in.
What a schedule. You're exactly right. So it'll be fun. All right, so that's tonight?
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up tonight. Lee Elliott died today.
I saw that.
And that's one of the first things you learn when you get to Chicago. I don't know how many people are familiar with it here. I'd love to say I'd play a snippet of it, but you can't. You can't play it on terrestrial radio. I think it's the greatest sports rant of all time.
I remember it. It was absolutely great.
And he went off on his own fans.
Yes, he did.
And the ones who actually showed up to the ballpark, the ones who actually showed up to support the team, He called them all losers who can't find a job. That's the only reason why they're at the game at Wrigley Field.
He really did.
And
It
he
was
says,
great.
print it. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with that to start
All
the show.
right, Rick Ballou goes into the night. That will be a lot of fun. That'll do it for our program. One more show this week. We'll be back here in studio tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Don't go anywhere. Rick's next. For Hayes.